Man, I know stuffy.
Yes. Yafeuh Balogun, street reporter, back again. We was having some me and Chairman Erick Sundiata Khafre was having some conversations. We just want to get in right now and just kind of, I guess, for lack of a better term, more or less try to chop it up a little bit, uh, talk about some things that we experienced in the past. And I know me and him, when we first kind of got started, we came up with this concept called Freedom Now. This organization called Freedom Now that we was really trying to push. It's really a concept that really kind of helped us get to the point we at now. I really just want to hear Erick's concept on how he perceives things that happen. I won't be long with it. Go ahead, Erick. What you think about Freedom Now, what it was, and what we were trying to do with it.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was cool. Shit, man. We was just trying to get active, as they say now. Get active. We was just trying to get our hands dirty. You hear me? Oh, okay. Yeah, we just try to get active, man, to get our hands dirty, man. One thing. I mean, I guess it amazed me then, but man, not so much now. And not to beat up church. You know, we got people do this all the time. They beat up the church. They talk shit about the church leaders and all this, the religious concepts and all that. I ain't going to into all that, but at that time it amazed me how and for some reason this is what I always think about. It's one of the things when I pass through our community, see all these churches and shit, and all this old stuff. But one of the things I always think about with Freedom Now, it amazed me back then that we went to all those churches trying to get them to do some community initiatives that was pretty basic. I mean, at
Right.
that time, even though we was you probably was a little bit more well learned than me. I had just started learning. You grew up around some level of consciousness. I grew up around niggerdom, what I'm saying, just straight street niggerdom, drinking and cussing and shit. And so, I
Right.
mean, you experienced the same similar stuff too, but I'm just saying, it wasn't
Right.
no, I ain't know shit about Pan African and you know, uh, I remember some groups and stuff doing other stuff, Million Man March and shit, but like other aspects of that, I didn't know shit about no Azure Quasi, you know what I'm saying? The great griot scholar, who live here in Dallas, Azure Quasi, his wife, Mirai, who, put in that griot work for years doing tours to, Kemet, what these people call Egypt or whatever. And, all that they've been putting in work for all these years, man. Showing documentation of our history and concepts, and where other people plagiarized what we did, thousands, of years ago. But I ain't know nothing about all that. So, you know, when we went to the church trying to, we wasn't like I say, we wasn't just deep in, we really wasn't just like pushing no revolutionary concepts at that point. That was our goal, of course, but even as young men, we knew not to take it there with certain elements of the community. But even the little small efforts we were trying to get them to do, they just wasn't with it. Or at least, I mean, tell me something different if you remember something different than what I'm saying. But they didn't jump on it. You know what I'm saying? And these the same church people that get in the pulpit. And like I said, it's not a religious badge thing. It's just it amazed me at that time. I'm going back to how I felt as a 19-year-old coming out of Carter High School. Is that they'll get in the pulpit talking about these young men need to come to God, and they wearing their pants down and they running the streets and yada yada yada, and we need more police on the street, more prisons and shit like this. But you had two young men, then we had a couple buddies, our buddy AZ, what I'm saying, out of Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? He was down for the crime. He was a hip hop artist, but he did some, he hung out and did some community stuff with it too. But
AZ.
you had a few of us.
AZ.
You had a few
AZ.
of us. But we coming to you as young people, you know what I'm saying, under the age of 23. Well, AG was already like 25 or some shit. But me and you wasn't even 20 yet. And we coming to you with these projects. And even if you think the projects needed a little bit more organization or whatever, we would have accepted that. You know what I'm saying? We would have accepted that, but they really wasn't really. I mean, they just didn't. They didn't jump on it like you think godly men supposed to do. To be talking about, be the same ones, like I say, talking about what the young men ain't doing and they out here running the streets and all this shit. Well, here's two young men or three young men that wasn't doing that shit. We could have. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We already know. We had some of our buddies out of Carter High School, and some of them lost their lives over some petty bourgeois, I mean not petty bourgeois, but petty, petty crimes or whatever you call it, or trying to, just trying to get over and do what they do. They may have been misled, you know what I'm saying? Some of them was our friends. And so what you had us coming to you, where was the love at? You know, and some of them even was even asking about religious affiliation. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm not cripping in blood, and that's all your ass needs to know. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, you worry about am I a Christian or Muslim or a goddamn Episcopalian. You need to be worried about am I gonna rob this motherfucking church tonight, nigga. If I
Right.
ain't doing that, you need to accept whatever I come in this motherfucker with. And that's what I was thinking then. Like, what the fuck is wrong with these dudes? Then, when you young, you already proud of the knowledge that you done learned. You ain't finna give up your position to be, you know what I'm saying, to be in the mix. You know what I'm saying? Of course, later on, through maturity and stuff like that, through the movement, you learn how to mix in with the masses and not just be too overly conscious on their ass. You know what I'm saying? But at that time, you were young and proud. You like, nigga, we ain't worried about that shit right now. We just try to get some work done. You know what I'm saying? We don't give a damn if nigga talking about Jesus, Allah, whoever the fuck. We just want to get this work done. You know what I'm saying? And it just tripped me out of all these damn churches, that people give all this damn money to, and they wouldn't accept young people trying to do something. You know what I'm saying? It really, because I mean, even though me and you continue to do what we did and we still doing it to this day, what if that discouraged us? You know what I'm saying? That's how you gotta look at that shit. What if that
Right.
discouraged us? Because I'm sure it discouraged some damn body. So what if that discouraged us and we never did anything productive in our life in the community ever again? You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't necessarily been their fault, but they would have contributed to this. So that's one of the first things I think about when it comes to freedom now for economic equality and social justice, man, is that we made an attempt to go right to the leaders in the community, you know what I'm saying? And since they didn't, stand their ground, we went out there and, did whatever, community ups, you know what I'm saying, food giveaways, whatever we want, felt was right. We went out there and just did it. Shit, put our own money together and we made it happen.
For sure. I just remember sitting in, one thing I always remember is sitting in that church with all that church leadership, maybe some deacons or whatnot, and maybe the pastor was there or the minister, whoever that person was. And I just remember sitting around the church leadership and having conversations and them asking, uh, "Well, are you Christian? What they
See,
say?
see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
They,
Yeah.
they went, they went to us and I think, correct me if I'm wrong. I think I said I was, and you said you wasn't, or the other way. Well, how'd
Yeah,
it go?
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's how it was, yeah.
I said I was Christian. I accepted what they were saying.
You
And you
did the
said
right
it.
thing.
And
I'm
you
the nigga
said
that
you
I'm
were.
the nigga that I'm the nigga that fucked it up.
Ah, yeah, I don't know. I think they would have tried to have us there at their church doing a lot of work at their church, which would have been cool. Um, but it would have
It's
gave them
cool,
the
but Jesus wasn't in no damn church. Jesus was on the fucking street, shit, with the thugs and killers and shit, and the hoes, the prostitutes, Harry Hines. If Jesus was in Dallas, he would have been on Harry Hines trying to do some shit. He wouldn't have been there, but I get what you're saying. Yeah,
hmm Yeah, I thought. What you think the at least for me, I can say, but I'm curious for you. What do you think the influence of Dead Prez as a group at that particular time? Did that well? Let me say that. Did that have any particular influence on you, for us, music wise? The rap group Dead Prez.
yeah, it did. Actually, they used to give me your crunk. They got me, man. Hey, when I got up, shit, I was ready to go. All I needed was some flyers or brochures or whatever I was gonna do.
Yeah.
Shit, in a plane, I was ready to rock and roll. Listen, it don't matter what it was. I'm African. Propaganda. What was the other song? Shit, I was ready to rock and roll. Even the, intro with Chairman O'Malley on, I was ready to go. But man, I look back, I didn't think about that at that time, and I was still in the music back then. But now I look at it, man, like people be asking me different, like every now and again, people mention rap albums. This is the 50th year of celebration of hip hop. And people be, you hear a lot of discussions on best lyricists, best albums, and all of those shit. And it's hard for me not to put that album in top five greatest rap albums all time. And not just because it's on no country shit, because it really was grimy. Really, it really wasn't on no the Black Queens and the circumference of the earth, Black Brother. Like it was like some gritty shit in there. Like they was doing political education, and anybody could relate to this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a hard ass album, man. And I'm going from here on out, maybe for the last 4 years or so. From that point on to now, I'm gonna always put that in the top five greatest hip hop albums of all time, hands down. May not be number one, it may be number one, but I know it's in the top five, hands down. That album, Let's Get Free, is in the top five, no question about it. So yeah, it had a lot of influence. You know what I'm saying? Every time I hear that, listen to them old songs, I think about back then. We was in the teens and late early 20s and stuff, man, about how we was doing our thing. Them songs was like the soundtrack to the early years of what we was doing. Them songs were the soundtrack. You talking, I can't hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying it was interesting just being part of that time. At least in our particular corner of the planet, the influence that I think Dead Prez may have had, especially on me. Uh, I think for me the top song on there for me is "Telling Lies." I think that's the name of it, "Telling Lies."
Nah, that's propaganda.
That's propaganda. That's the name. That's propaganda.
Yeah, telling la two. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's propaganda. Yeah. That was a bad motherfucker, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
just then at the end they had Huey talking at the end. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You couldn't tell me that wasn't no bad shit right there, boy.
That's
How
what
they
I'm
had
saying, man. They was just shit. I'm telling you, man. That's top five. Shit.
top five. That's your top five right there. Dead
That's
Presidents
one
in.
of them. Hell yeah, they in it. I got some Pac in there too. You know I'm gonna have Pac, but they in there. Shit.
I
No
can't
question.
believe. I can't believe Dead Prez in your top five, man.
What?
I can't believe
Hey
that, man.
man, that shit make you get up and go do some shit right then and there. You put on a uniform, whatever uniform your organization. I know Freedom Now, we had the fatigues and shit. Not like quite like GMF, but yeah, like we had the black and white. Man, that shit make you get up and go. You doing push-ups and shit. That's what I was doing. I get up, do push. It may look, you get in the, you may look in the green sheet for a little job or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You young, you shit. And going to El Centro, you looking for going to Green Sheet, looking for some jobs, application. After that, you get up, do your push-ups and shit, your sit-ups, and you ready to go rock and roll. You ready to try to get some people down. That album did that. I
Yeah,
mean, we got other hip hop albums that influence young people to do all kind of stupid shit, but they lyrics ain't about shit. They just got beats that's catchy beats, but they lyrics ain't about a damn thing. But that there was lyrics and it was powerful.
yeah. Dead Prez. Yeah, I can concur with that, man. And
Yeah.
I think we met some good, really good people during that time frame.
Mhm.
Obviously, getting closer with Bandelli at that particular time. I think just Pan African in general. I think was probably the biggest highlight of that particular time. The people we met, Pentoya, Kalika.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the brother used to come to Pan African all the time with the locks. They had the. He probably not even in Dallas no more. I forget his name. Uh, you probably don't know remember his name either, do you? You know, you
Ooh,
probably remember.
T,
It wasn't
T,
T. I forget his
T.
name.
Oh,
I forget his name. The brother with locks. He used to be at
shit, everybody had a lot. That's when they started coming. Then when I
yeah,
learned about, like, okay, this is the lock thing. That's the thing here now. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I forget the brother now. He's always been Pan
That back,
African.
but that see that back people that was going locks then, but that back when they'll still fire your ass at a job if you had if they ain't like your shit. They still fire your ass if it's a professional job. Now it's cool. Everybody run a motherfucker. It might be a goddamn president motherfucker work. But yeah, back then the motherfuckers had the right ports and shit and lawsuits about their lives back then.
Shit still going on now here. Shit.
It is, but on that back when they was up front with it,
Yeah,
like, yeah,
in
nigga,
Dallas, in Dallas,
don't come in this bitch with no suit and locks, nigga, cut your shit off.
say in Dallas, yeah, it wasn't a whole lot of people with locks. Yeah,
Nah, locks was
yeah,
cool. You saw a motherfucker with locks, you ready to start a conversation back then.
them jokers had haircuts in Dallas.
Yeah, yeah,
A
yeah. I
fresh
had me
haircut.
one. Yeah. I had me a
Yeah,
nice cut. Shit.
you had a haircut. You wasn't no yeah. Sure what?
Mm-hmm.
You had a haircut and shit. They expect you to have one. And you had one.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah.
Shit. I gotta go look for a job. Nigga had a haircut. Nigga had to come back with a fresh haircut. Shit.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
None of that. None of that.
Yeah, the mother talking about free form locks and shit. None of that shit.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That was
Nah.
unacceptable on the good jobs. We say the good jobs. What that was unacceptable.
Shit, man. So, yeah, man. So I just wanted to kind of get your perspective on kind of freedom now. As far as I respect it, because a lot of times I think it's important because a lot of times folks they think they hear us talk about gorilla mainframe, they just think that's kind of uh, where it's at, and I think for us, regardless of what happened, if somebody want to kind of get an idea of what we were about, they can kind of refer to these conversations here and kind of get a track record, and we have a way of documenting and keeping a track record of our own development and sort of really tell our own story. That's what I think is important about any of this and all of this conversation, and that's what I want anybody that's you know, looking at this now, looking at this here in the future, to take an account that the purpose of this conversation, we're not just having just a private conversation or that we're inviting everybody in, kind of having amongst us. We really slowly but surely kind of telling our perspective and our history so that it can be documented and kept for future viewership and for understanding, most importantly. Um, because what
Yeah,
we did, I think what we have done or tried to do and aiming to still do is to kind of set a course towards revolutionary principles and revolutionary ideas, and eventually putting our people in a position uh, where we have self determination, obviously, without interference. I think that's definitely the long term goal. But from my perspective, from my point of view, this is the way we did it, and so we have to tell our story so that we can't have other folks do it for us at all. We got to tell our own story. So that's the purpose of our list. And so, you got anything else to kind of close out with?
yeah. That's right. We got a good. Hey man, our story good, man. If they say our story ain't good, they didn't meet up with us and box. Now I'm playing. Uh,
Uh,
nah, nah. It's in my bio. Freedom now is in my bio. When I sent, I don't know about yours. Is
right.
in my bio. A lot of people got it. Different conferences and stuff we've been at. It's in my bio. Freedom now, man. That's one of the first things in there, man. I don't leave that out. That's a part of it. You know what
For
I'm
sure.
saying? Yeah. And yeah. you know. And we mentioned that church day. I got to give a shout out to my aunt Kathy Oliver, man. She probably would never hear this, but you know, let's TD said it to her. But you know, I remember she was the one. She was one of the only church persons uh that was supportive of it. You know, you probably don't remember, but like other people, like, oh, I don't know what you doing. You know, you just being. It was a. Oh, people thought, you know how when you young, people think what you doing is a fad, right? You know, then
Mm,
20 years later, they like, man, them motherfuckers still doing this shit. You know, they still they go across the country, everything, been on news, you know, been on documentaries, but you know, at the outstart, people always think what you're doing is a fad because you're young. You know
right,
what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what you want to do. You a youngster, you don't know what direction you want to go. You just inspired, but you heard a speech or something, and now you fired up. You know what I'm saying? And but yeah, my Aunt Kathy, man, she was supportive, you know, right? I had other aunts who were supportive too, but she was a church aunt that was supportive. She wasn't talking that slack talk, you know, what you ain't gonna, that you ain't gonna do nothing job type stuff. She was like, yeah, I'm back. If everyone want to do something positive in the community, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even see her that often. Well, I see her every now and again, you know what I'm saying? But I don't see her as often. But yeah, you know, shout out to her. She was one of the people that didn't say nothing, too out the way, too crazy. She was very, supportive, even though she didn't even know at first what was going on. You know what I'm saying? Later on she did, but not at that point. But she supported.
right. Well, that's powerful.
Yeah.
That's especially somebody in your family. You know what I'm saying? Or you related to some way to have them support is very powerful. That's it says something when that happens anyway. Because usually, and we all seen it too far too often when you're involved with something like this. Nine times
Hmm.
out of 10, your family not gonna be involved with you. Nine
Yeah,
times
yeah, right, right,
you in this
right.
on your own. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, uh-huh. Yeah,
You in this on this own. How many what I'm saying? How many events we done went to when it was just individual person or whatnot? So to have
yeah.
family that legitimately support is powerful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, as
That's
a
how I like.
family. Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah,
What you
yeah,
say?
yeah. I had other family support. My other Deborah, my mama, one of her sisters, she's still alive. She supported too, but I ain't mentioned her because she already on this type stuff anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't shit for her to be a. She probably was like, okay, I'm feeling it. Shout out to her too, but she still supports to this day. But she was already a support of stuff like that. I even know she was on it when I was little. I was like, shit, why you didn't tell me, teach me some of this shit? You know what I'm saying? You let me go astray for a long time. Shit, then when I got on it, I found out, okay, so you in the mix too, because
Yeah.
Aunt Deborah knew, she knew SU Daily way back in the day.
Oh, this you okay?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
she knew SU Daily for any of us knew him. Yeah, 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 yeah. So, she knew about all this stuff, and stuff like that. So, but she was out of me, like I ain't mentioned her because she wasn't in the crowd of people that really was, you know, kind of propagandized to look at these a certain way. She had her own mind already. So when I got involved with something like this, she already, was supportive of it.
Mm,
Hmm.
interesting. Yeah, well, that's powerful. That's
All my
powerful.
aunts supported me, really. All my aunts supported me, really. You know, it's a men be looking at you crazy. You know,
Say,
yeah,
look at
I
you
done
crazy.
told you, I done told them guns. I know freedom now. We really wasn't on it quite per se yet, but yeah, out up there with them guns and stuff, man. You better watch out. All of those stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and I'm looking like,
yeah.
man, whatever. But yeah,
Oh man, that's funny, man. That is so true, man. So that's good. That's good. You had
Mhm.
support. You had support, obviously. Yeah, I think your greatest support, obviously, in my opinion, was your mom. Also, in addition to that, don't want to miss that talking about that because she was at everything, or if he was able to come, she came to everything. You know what I'm saying? And hey, like I said, that's not something. And then like you think about Mel Chester, that mom too, how she would come to
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
support like
yeah.
that's all beautiful, man. But as you know, it's not something that occurs often. You know what
I
I'm
know. I feel like I was special with folks be talking about their parents and shit. They like, my mama hate that I do that. Whatever they be calling themselves the black sheep of they family. I never call myself that shit. But I always looked at shit like if you either down with what I'm doing or your ass ain't, you ain't no black sheep. I'm just being me. I believe my life with a purpose. But other people, that's like the common terms. People say I'm a black sheep. My family, they don't fuck with me because I don't like Christmas or I don't like the white G's or whatever the fuck it might be. You know what I'm saying? People be, like you say, people parents didn't support them. Too often. We even had comrades and GMF and other groups. Freedom Now, whatever, and some of their parents didn't support them. You know what I'm saying? So after a while, I did kind of, feel a little special. At first I was like, hey, you roll with me or whatever, but yeah, I did take her support for granted at first. I just
Mm-hmm.
thought she automatically supposed to support me any damn way. But after I learned about other comrades and they family and shit, I'm like, maybe my mom is doing something special. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It
she
was.
don't have to, when you got, feds and shit visiting your house, harassing and all these kind of things. A lot of stuff she dealt with, she still held the line that she didn't have to do. You know, she could have, with the propaganda and tried to, influenced by the state and all that, but she always, held the ground. You know what I'm saying? I remember when Raquel was locked in the Fed with the BIE thing. She was mad about that shit. You know what I'm saying? And some people
Right.
be like, well, that's what that nigga get. You know what I'm saying? He should have been out there with them. But she did. That wasn't her perspective at all. You know what I'm saying? She was actually upset about it. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? And so, yeah. So, it ain't too many mothers is going to be down for the crowd on that level.
that's real.
Mm-hmm.
That's real. That's real. That's real. On our, hey, look, we got to talk about on the next one here, man. I got a couple ideas I want to run by you. But we gonna be back. We just wanted to do a story time, talk about Freedom Now organization, like economic equality, social justice, Freedom Now, Freedom Now. We want to talk about that just because that was our first group. You know what I'm saying? And we just kind of want to
It
tell
was
our
it one but
story,
it one but 4 or 5 of us. What?
if that. You know what I'm saying?
You like the
But
little four stooges or something, little rascals. But yeah,
well, we was 19 at the time. I think I was.
yeah,
You might have been 19. I might have been 20, just turning 20 or something. But
yeah.
yeah, we've been around for a little time. We're gonna do a couple more story times with Chairman Erick Sundiata Khafre. He the chairman of Gorilla Mainframe. You know what I'm saying, and leader of that group. You know what I'm saying. So we're gonna do a couple more, few more with him, kind of get his pick his brain. And I'm really curious of some things that he, you know what I'm saying, because I got my perspective on things I remember, but he obviously is gonna remember some things differently and have some different perspectives. So we interested in that. Catch us on the story time. Like, share, subscribe. Appreciate you.
Peace.